suspension at Churchill Downs has been extended. So revolving around that extension, one of the owners, Muth's owner, Amr Zidane for Bob Baffert, is trying to get Muth into the Kentucky Derby, has made some sort of a legal filing, a lawsuit here. You've talked to people involved for this, Randy. What have you found out? A procedural hearing is set for Monday in Kentucky, at which point another hearing date is expected to be set. The basis for the suit are public statements made by Churchill Downs and its CEO indicating that if Baffert avoided additional medication violations during his initial 2-year suspension, that he would be welcome to return to Churchill Downs. Zidane says, he alleges that as a result of Churchill Downs' statements, he spent $10 million on horses that would be 3-year-olds this year because they would get to be trained by Bob Baffert, his choice of trainer. Baffert had no further medication violations, and yet Churchill Downs extended the suspension for another year. Now, it must be said, over the last couple of years, there have been numerous lawsuits filed, Zidane, Baffert, that have been unsuccessful, and Churchill Downs calls this suit, quote, the latest meritless attempt to relitigate the Baffert suspension. So you've read over the filing. You've talked to a lot of people about this. Do you feel like Zidane and his representatives do have a compelling argument here? This argument, in my opinion, is much more compelling and convincing than the other ones, but the lawsuit was filed only Wednesday. And, of course, the Kentucky Derby is coming up in 4 weeks. Horses are already beginning to travel. I mean, that can be a problem. I spoke to Andrew Frank, a spokesperson for Zidane Racing, and he acknowledged it. He said, quote, we hope the court will hear our arguments expeditiously and rule expeditiously. We are obviously up against the clock. Story that continues to evolve and has been evolving for the last 2 years plus now. Certainly something to track as we get closer to the Kentucky Derby. Time is winding down to our race here. Our